What's good, everybody? Here I am. Just did 2 pro matches for my team Savage Stars, and I just want to share with you my attacks and my plan for them instead of Legends for the day. Legends actually went well. I went 320, a big plus 46 today. So that was a great day. But I had 2 matches today, so that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. There's a little spoiler, but yeah. So taking you into the first one here. Everybody kind of claimed 1 minute into the war a lot before me. So by the time I claimed my base, it was number 5 here. And then I just want to show you what I like to do. So first things first, I look at the base to kind of come up with a little bit of a plan. So I'm looking at this base, and there's not really like coming into this ricochet and multi. You could section off, connecting with this dead space all along here, and maybe get roots nicely through all this kind of buildings into the town hall. But I'm like, my strongest army is fireball. So yeah, looking at this, I'm like, oh, you know what? This builder hut's actually really nicely placed. I can get these 3 defenses plus the clan castle. Like, that's a really nice fireball. So instantly I look at that and I go to kind of the drawing board. So I take a screenshot here, right? And then let me just pull you over to what I look at. Boom. So now we got our screenshot, right? And I'm over here. I mean, I know I've already drawn on it, but what I'd like to do is I'm in here, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is my fireball, taking out those 4 things. So how do I get there? So I was looking, I actually love this. Like, I was thinking, okay, my warden can start by that first red arrow on the left here. He'll bounce up to the wizard tower, bounce down to the expo, bounce into these 2 defenses. If I take this one out with rocket balloons, that's what that mark is from me. So I'm taking down the wizard tower there, cruising through the rest of those defenses where the red ring is. That's all taken down by my warden. Then all I need is an invis on those 3, an invis on those 2, an invis there and an invis there, so 4 invis spells, and 2 quakes then, and all I needed, I figured, was a rage right here on entry. So that's all the spells I need to take down that fireball, and that will get me that nice fireball and actually destroy all the defenses in the red ring. So that's a good start, right? Also, I look at this base and I was like, oh, I drew out quickly here the ranges for the multi-archer tower in red there and the regular archer tower in red there, because what I noticed was if I take down those 3 defenses, builder hut and both mortars with my super balloons, it sets up a nice flame flinger because I can go get the multi-archer tower, ricochet cannon, multi-inferno, and that's all out of range of the fire spitter. And then what I like to do is, you got the warden working here and the flinger there, heroes right between into that minion prince is beautiful for me. I also noticed my warden, if I sent him up top, would be going into the warden and royal champion, which are both the weaker heroes, so that's perfect. It's already according to plan for me, and otherwise I would have pulled him the other way. It doesn't really matter. It's symmetrical base, so I could have flinger the other side, but so that's perfect for me. So that was kind of the plan. I'd go heroes up the gut and yeah, kind of crunch this backside. I would have royal champion for this backside, and yeah, so let's just go see what actually happened. So getting into it here, first thing I said, I'm setting up this flame flinger, so I'll take you in 2 times speed. I take down all these, pull some Teslas over there, so I think I'm looking good. I found my placement right between these 2 things, like I showed earlier, and started my warden. Sorry, it's in 2 times speed, so I'm losing control of it a bit here, but I didn't know if 2 balloons was enough, if an underleveled wizard tower there, but I stopped the 3rd. Yeah, let my warden go. He was actually getting lower than I thought, and I wasn't too comfortable with this, so I just rage. Even still was getting close. I actually checked beforehand, and this is what's important. I checked that the clan castle here, if I put a balloon onto this archer tower, it would pull, so I didn't want to, sometimes you put a balloon to take up some of the multi-archer tower shots to weaken its damage, but I couldn't do that right into it because I'd pulled a clan castle, right? So that's the, premise here is I knew I could put it on the expo, so I did that. It goes down quickly, luckily. Warden's taking these down. I'm like, okay, now you can die, Warden. You've done your job, please. Luckily, it's like just as he takes down the bomb tower, he expires. I let him finish it. So yeah, now we're in a good spot. It's a little different than maybe where I expected him to finish up, but it doesn't matter. Flinger's still working nicely over here. What I go for is, that invis here. I don't need to get all 3 now. I don't need to hit the bomb tower because he's so far away. Invis there, invis onto that, invis there, and then I do throw a 4th one. Not really sure if I could have gotten away with any of those. I think I needed them all. Beautiful invis right there, all on time. Nice fireball, hits the target, and look at that carved out. I don't know if you noticed, I actually forgot to mention it, but I dropped a balloon at the start to test for traps. I meant to drop a super balloon because I took 4 balloons strictly for the purpose of pulling the warden. So once I did that, I only had 3 and then a rocket balloon, so that's fine. I just, I had to do that. So yeah, we're pulling into these lovely heroes here. Started a headhunter. I'm gonna get another one in here for the royal champion whenever she gets tanked. That's right now. Send it in. Now I'm thinking my warden's fine, so I'm already starting my Sui. I got a beautiful value from this flame flinger. My warden does get a bit weak here, and I do notice it like right here, but that's still plenty. Like, I did notice it in time. It was kind of close, but King ability pops early. I actually wanted him to open up these walls for my queen, but one thing I didn't think about is because I hit the builder hut and quaked there, the town hall dropped. I didn't really think about the fact there was going to be no healers there. So that was incredible. I got the town hall with my king, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, this looks phenomenal. My warden's going to go into a multi. That is no damage, so I'm just slowly funneling him in here, letting him do his thing. Queen ability I popped because, I don't know if you could tell, but the queen was going around the outside, and the flame flinger was opening these walls, but the queen had already targeted this, so she was walking past. That's why you see her over here, but I popped her ability so that the clones, as she spread into the clones would target it since it was the closest, and I needed it to go down. So that was my plan there. I was seriously considering swagging the Royal Champion here because my Warden just would have had to go through everything, but it would have taken too long, so I dropped her in a rage. No point. I was like, it's a tournament match, just go get the 3-star, and so I placed her, and yeah, we cleaned this one right up. Swag 2 spells on him too, and that was a beautiful attack, planned out to perfection. I knew the ranges over here for the flame flinger. It got crazy value. King popped a little early, took out the town hall, which wasn't even planned. Like that was a great fireball attack. And yeah, let's go see what was the next one. So next war here, Synchronic Gaming. This is the world champions from last year, best team in Clash of Clans, and they are ranked 3rd currently, I think, in the world, behind DZ, who obviously took the first golden ticket, and Navi, who's ranked 2nd. So Synchronic, a huge powerhouse of a team. We had some decent attacks this war. We had an 80, 87 by me, 84, 80. So, they also had better attacks, though, like a 90, 2 triples, 96, 89. So they definitely wiped the floor with us. I mean, they're the 3rd best team in the entire world for a reason. But we had some good attacks. So once again, everyone claimed their bases within a couple seconds. And I'm going to show you the base that I got. So this is the one I'm taking on, Leo here. Obviously, I do love Fireball as my main attack. But looking at this one, I couldn't find much Fireball value. Like, you could hit the spell tower and it would get these 3 multis and Monolith, those 4 defenses, which would be nice. But that's really tough to get there. Plus, I figured maybe you could get there charging from 6, but that would be really tough. And then plus, you could hit the spell tower quickly. I wasn't even sure if it'd get the gear tower, but I knew it wouldn't get the expos, checking the ranges. So I'd maybe get these 3 defenses, and that wasn't worth it. So just looking at all those things, I was like, okay, I'm not really going for a fireball in this base. So my first thought was, if I came in with a I'm looking for Root Riders first of all, actually, and I was thinking about coming in near this side or this side maybe because, actually never mind, I thought there was an Archer Tower there that had less health, but coming into here, because what you do is if you connect to this dead space you see here, this space that doesn't have any buildings, it makes a nice path for your Root Riders to kind of follow through all of this pathing down the middle without, getting distracted by these since they're too far away. But I just didn't really see a way to kind of get the Town Hall or get away from it. And swoop back to it. I didn't really like that plan. So what I ended up doing here was, once again, I take that screenshot and, let's go see what it looks like over in photos again. So now we're in our next base in photos, right? This one also has a lot of stuff through, as you can see. But my plan here was, initially I'd drawn up a whole plan to go with the long RC charge through the builder hut at the top there, left to the wizard tower, all the way down through the town hall, into the fire spitter, into the monolith, and try and take out that whole core. But long RC into dragons just isn't my main army. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not something I'm super confident with, so I'd probably want to talk to somebody about the plan, the setup, making sure my royal champion would go where I was planning, because if not, you're cooked, right? So I didn't really want to risk that on an attack I wasn't certain of, because yeah, we're playing Synchronic Gaming. You needed to have 3 stars, and we didn't really have any room for errors since I was attacking 3rd and they already had picked up a 3-star, and we were 0 for 2 at this point. So I went back to an army that I don't use too much, but I love it. It's perfect on bases like this with an exposed town hall, so I'm kind of surprised it didn't go through. But I saw later on why it didn't. But so I went with the Fireball Root Riders. Going with this army, Vatic Esports Kingsman. He uses it a lot, Kingsman from Vatic. And it's no Root Riders is kind of the key in that army, because the Valkyries, no Valkyries, because they don't get enough healing, with the Eternal Tome they just die, and so they're just completely useless. So go extra Root Riders since they're tanky enough that the healers can actually keep up with them. That's kind of the play. So the play here was, as you can see, drawn up, heading into that builder hut was my warden. He's gonna go in, take out the 2 wizard towers, and the town hall, and I was kind of expecting him to finish there, and then I could invis the mortar bomb tower on both sides. And at that point, I didn't really care if he fireballed which fire spitter, because either one gets the exact same value since it's symmetrical. But I checked the ranges, and yeah, you can see the red drawn here. I'm expecting it to go to the left and get the multi-archer tower, scatter, or flinger, air sweeper, and clan castle, and that's a pretty good value to me. And then coming from that, I was looking at this base. I'm like, okay, can I go super witches through here? Maybe. They move slowly. I'd have time to kind of group them up with my troops. I'd have time to set this funnel. But what I was thinking is there's 3 multis, a poison, the monolith. Maybe I should have done that into the multis, but I was thinking there's too much, that the witches themselves are going to be taking all the damage from all the multis. And then the monolith, once it locks onto one of them, will just finish it. Lock onto the other, finish it. So I didn't think that was my best option. So what I ended up doing was going with the Root Riders, Fireball Root Riders. And yeah, I'd start the Root Riders in the yellow there, right through the middle. They'd be kind of going in through the Mortar Bomb Tower that were left up, since they were only invised and not taken down. And then move in straight to the Queen, Sweeper, and luckily the Fire Spitter's facing away, so I didn't fight either of this attack. And then my plan here was both of these swipes are my King outside, Queen inside. I'd wall break them on the little X right there. Skeleton spell on the circle right there to distract the Cannon and Expo. And, you know, hopefully that would be kind of cruising through that whole section, set a really nice funnel to get my Root Riders straight to the core. And then what I realized, and then I'd overgrowth this back end right here, so my troops could go through the 3 multis and then group up with the heroes. And I thought that was going to be a banging plan. And yeah, let's just see kind of what ended up happening actually in the attack. So actually hopping into the attack here, like I said, we start up top here with the Warden and Angry Jelly. Yeah, he kind of just does his thing right there. He's walking. He gets to the town hall, and this is where my plan kind of changed a bit. He's going into the town hall, and I actually realized he's taking a fair bit of damage. You can't really see his health bar, but I could see it at the bottom. So I knew I had to rage, and I was like, that's not part of the plan. But luckily, I only needed 2 invis, and usually I use 4, so I did pick up an extra rage for this attack. So I actually was kind of comfortable using it. I wasn't planning on it, but I was like, that's fine with me. So I used the rage right there, let him take it out, and his jelly hadn't expired yet, so that was a little worrisome for me, but then he expires perfectly on the mortar just after he takes it down. So now we're sitting here nicely. Like I said, you know, we set up double invis, go hit that fire spitter, get the nice quakes on both, and that's the setup we got. I think it's looking perfect again. The one thing I did realize, though, after the plan to actually getting in the attack, was my queen had the, what's it called? The new pet, the Sneezy on her. And I wanted that to go with the troops because I was planning on using a siege barracks out here with the king. Or sorry, I was planning to use the troop launcher, but I didn't want to use that just because I figured the siege barracks really was needed to help with this huge funnel on the outside. But then I needed something to pull the air traps for my healers. So I wanted to bring the queen with the Sneezy because I needed the jelly on the warden. So what I decided to do was just, you know, send her with the warden. So since I did that, I needed to siege barracks and king the outside to really reinforce that funnel. So what I did here was, you know, take out a couple of those defenses to just make sure my queen rolls in. King siege barracks outside. I wall break them in, use the Valkyrie to try and push them in even. I forgot to Skelly spell, which was my plan, so that stinks a little. King did go in though. And we're looking all right here, I think. Kind of rolling through exactly how I'd hoped. We're taking down all this. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I think I overgrowth right here. I didn't mean to hit the multi, but I didn't really mind that because it sends them straight to the bottom. I think we're still looking good at this point. I'm not going to lie. You know, they're going in there. The druids just expired, or about to. There they go. Or about to again. I raged and used my RC ability here before she kind of lunged into all this by herself. I don't know if this was worth it, but once again, like I said, you know, my Root Riders were all kind of up here in the core with my queen. Everything was kind of going slowly, and I needed, like, my Royal Champion was going in there and dying for sure, so I had to pop it. I raged her to kind of increase that damage, but my queen kind of sold me there. If she went with the troops and had the Sneezy, maybe we would have been fine. I lost all my healers in the core. My queens go around. The super minions were a huge pickup on this one, actually. You know, really good choice to use. I freeze right here for my Royal Champion, and she kind of just, you know, fades out and dies. We kill that. But yeah, really the queen kind of didn't pass with my troops, so we didn't go back down and then wrap around into here because, as you can see, I don't have many troops left at this point. The biggest reason is your healers dying. You know, your healers die and Root Riders, you're kind of screwed. So that kind of sold me if I still had them. I feel like I still would have actually tripled. Queen went with my troops, that would have helped as well. But yeah, not a bad attack by any means. You know, the best one of our team against the world champions, 87% is, yeah, not too bad. So I'll definitely take that, but I just wanted to show you the kind of planning that goes into these attacks and these wars. Just, you know, I love to do the screenshot and just mark up a bit kind of, you know, how the plan's looking to make sure that I'm got the right idea here. But regardless, you know, that's how the plan went. That's how the one, you know, went, the other didn't. That leaves me 2 for 5, which is 40%. of a hit rate with this team, which is really good. Anything kind of around 33 is what we're looking for, so 40%. Super stoked to be there and looking to continue building on it. So that's going to do it for this video. Just covering some hard mode matches today because it was a busy day with Legends, 2 matches. I got some friendly wars coming up later as well, just for some practice heading into World Championships next weekend. So yeah, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you really all enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.